And welcome to The Verdict. Mick Cornett with Kent Myers. Glad you're with us. We're here every week meeting interesting people and talking about topical issues. And, well, this is a show that we've not ventured into before.
No, and I've wanted to for a number of years, and for some reason got distracted or got deterred from doing it. But I'm really pleased today that we're going to bring you two representatives from an organization called Bikers Against Child Abuse, BACA. And they are a group of individuals that are basically writers and take strong stances against child abuse, and in very different and important ways, and ways that make a real difference in the life of children. And we think our viewers are going to enjoy hearing from them and hearing what they want to do and how they do it. And I can tell you, as a person that has had an experience or two in trying to help children who have been abused and deprived, nobody does a better job than BACA in assisting these children.
We'll get to it. You're watching The Verdict. Kent and I'll be right back.
What if America had its own clean energy? Abundant and available for the next century or more, and possibly indefinitely. A true 21st century energy source would cut carbon emissions in half and do every living thing a world of good. That clean American energy exists. It's natural gas, and Chesapeake is its #1 explorer. For producing clean electricity and fueling our cars without imported oil, natural gas saves money and the environment, proving the answer to this country's energy needs is right under our feet, and we're not running out. Clean, abundant, affordable, American natural gas. Doing a world of good for our communities, our economy, and our irreplaceable planet Earth.
Wilsey, Meyer, Eatman, Tate. We're accountants. We do taxes, business valuations, estate planning, and consulting. And we're right here in Oklahoma, working with the owners of small and medium-sized businesses. Steve Wilsey and Stuart Meyer have the resources and the experience. Wilsey, Meyer, Eatman, Tate in Oklahoma City and Tulsa.
Welcome back to the set of The Verdict. Mick Cornett with Kent Myers, and Kent's going to introduce today's guest.
Today we're really pleased to have two members of Bikers Against Child Abuse joining us to talk about their organization, what they do to combat child abuse, and I think you'll be really interested in some of the individual stories they have about what they've done with individual children. To my right is Toy. Toy is the public relations representative of the Central Oklahoma chapter of Bikers Against Child Abuse, which is a national organization. They are representing the Central Oklahoma chapter. He's been involved with Bikers Against Child Abuse for 2 years. He's basically the face of the organization and is here to tell us about what's going on in their group. To my left is a fellow I'm going to be very careful with. He's the security officer for Bikers Against Child Abuse. His name is Tree Monkey. Tree Monkey has likewise been involved for a couple of years with this fine organization that does a lot of good work in our community, and you will see them from time to time around the city taking part in various events. Toy and Tree Monkey, welcome. Glad to have you.
Thank you. Glad
Now,
to be here.
it's quite rare. In fact, I think it's the first time ever we've had nicknames applied to our guests. So it's a Toy. Why are nicknames appropriate, and why is it something that this organization uses?
Well, nicknames kind of go back for a long way in the biker tradition, just with you know, the same reason your family and friends would give you a nickname, and that just tends to be what we go by.
Part of the culture.
Part of the culture. As far as the importance with BACA, it helps lend us a little anonymity because of what we do. There are people out there that don't care for us, and I'd rather them not have my real name.
Mm-hmm. Well, makes sense. And how did you get the name Toy? Is that a story you want to reveal?
Oh, well, I'll just say, without going into too much detail, a friend from another chapter, when I first started hanging out with them and getting to know the people, went around introducing me and mispronounced my real name.
I see.
Left out a syllable or two and just introduced me as Toy, and it stuck.
Okay, and Tree Monkey, I don't think anyone mispronounced your name to come up with Tree Monkey.
No, I trim trees for a living, and some of my fellow employees, one in particular, he always said, "You hang around a tree like a monkey." And he started calling me Tree Monkey, so that stuck.
There you go.
Well, let me ask you, Toy, start with you, and then you chime in,
Okay.
Tree Monkey, as you'd like to. What caused your organization, the Central Oklahoma chapter, to get involved in combating child abuse?
It really started just like all our chapters start with some people who were very civic-minded, saw this epidemic and felt they wanted to do something about it. They happened to have a passion for writing and found out about the organization and figured this is a perfect way to combine the two. Take the passion for writing and the desire to help in some way and put them together.
Well, how do you help in some way? In what ways are you all helping?
We bring the child into our family is the way we put it. Biker organizations from the beginning has always been about family, about brotherhood. The idea with BACA is we take the child once they're already in the system and there's already a case pending, and we do what we call an adoption. And we go meet this child and we bring them into our family. We tell them, "You're our little brother, our little sister now, and we're here for you." The idea is to take the fear away. As a matter of fact, that's the first part of our mission statement. We exist with the intent to create a safer environment for abused children. We exist as a body of bikers to empower children to not feel afraid of the world in which they live.
Well, do you work with other existing organizations that might have more of an alignment with these issues?
We do in the extent that we get a lot of our referrals from DHS, from law enforcement, who come to us, or they don't come to us actually. The person responsible for the child has to be the one to come to us, be it the parent or foster parent or whatever. But we get referrals from other organizations.
Tree Monkey, let me ask you, what size is your chapter? How many members do you have approximately?
Well, members, it's approximately 30-some members, but we have supporters also. What supporters are, they have to go through a criteria for 1 year, do a certain amount of events with us, get to know us and we get to know them, and then we do the NCIC background check on them to make sure that they're cleared, that they have no problems with the background, and then after a year, if they've met the criteria, then they become patch members. So total supporter and members, it's around 74, I believe.
And they're
In
all
our chapter.
Yeah, in your chapter,
In our
Central.
chapter.
Are there other chapters in Oklahoma?
There's 9 other chapters besides ours in Oklahoma.
And total, statewide, do you have any estimate of how many members there would be?
I really don't have a clue, to be honest.
I'd say you could guess probably around 70 members and support per chapter would be a good ballpark for it.
And all ride?
All ride, or ride on a back seat. That is a requirement.
But to a certain extent, this kind of breaks the stereotype, doesn't it, of someone who might be in the biking community? I mean, the perception from the outside is that, boy, those must be a rough bunch of guys who wouldn't have the compassion to be involved in a situation like this. Is that breaking the stereotype part of the goal here?
No. I don't see breaking the stereotype as part of the goal. As a matter of fact, in my opinion, we're using the stereotype to the benefit of the kids. It's that perception, which is to an extent a misperception. Most bikers are very compassionate. Most bikers are very, they don't, some of your more hardcore ones don't care for law enforcement, might not care much for the government, but they do love their country and they do love people, and most bikers are very kid-oriented and love kids. But we are taking that perception that bikers are, you know, rough, mean, tough, and using that to give the kids strength, to make the kids less afraid by knowing that, you know, they've got a bunch of big ugly guys like Tree Monkey that are going to back them up. Then they're less afraid to get up there and testify. I'm sure you guys know most perpetrators who get off, it's because the child is afraid to testify. There's been threats, there's been, you know, I'm going to kill your mom, your dog, whatever, and it puts this fear in this kid to where they won't get up on the stand and they won't testify. And our goal is to use that image of the biker, go in court with them, sit in the background. When they're on that stand, they see us and they say, okay, I got this one guy here who said he's going to hurt me, but I got these 20 guys here who look like they can take care of him, who say he ain't going to hurt me, and the kids testify.
In about 30 seconds, Tree Monkey, how did you decide to get involved with this organization?
Well, I decided, I've heard the organization for years when I lived in Maryland, Pennsylvania, and I decided, when we moved here, I decided, well, it's time to get involved in it. I always look for something to do in the community and help children, especially the children. I mean, and as bad as the epidemic has become, I figured it was time to get involved and help out the best I can.
Let's get to a break. Bikers against child abuse. More to come today on The Verdict.
I'm Dr. Suzanne Van Kooten, a research hydrometeorologist at National Severe Storms Lab, and I'm a Chickasaw. There's a stewardship there, I think, that's within Native Americans and the protectionist of the land, and are we going to leave things better than when we came in, that came across in how I did my job. I had a true passion for it because I realized that this was what we had always done. We'd always been so involved with the land and taking care of the land, but also taking care of people. So that is truly the stream that you go down as a meteorologist. You want to protect lives and property. The Chickasaw Nation does an amazing job with our education programs. There are no excuses for you not to succeed as a Chickasaw in education. That's fundamental. That's fundamental to the success of the nation, is this education aspect, because knowledge literally is power.
Home values are down in some states, but not in Oklahoma. Oklahoma's home values have increased 4.2% during the past 12 months. Unlike some states where home values have decreased as much as 20%. Good thing you're in Oklahoma. There may be real estate problems in some states, but there has never been a better time than now to buy or sell a home in Oklahoma. One of the most affordable states in the country, Oklahomans are buying and selling homes every day, and an Oklahoma Realtor can show you how. Good thing you're in Oklahoma.
That land next door was a mess. Take more than a lawnmower to revive that land. I heard the oil and natural gas people was cleaning up old oil sites, and it wouldn't cost us a flood nickel. Oh yes, sir, it was quite a revival. The whole church showed up, want to make a playground for the kids. It sure is a blessing.
Welcome back to the set of The Verdict. Today we're discussing bikers against child abuse. Toy and Tree Monkey are the nicknames of the two guests that we have today. Kent, where to now?
Well, we talked, Tree Tree Monkey a little bit about the adoption program, but do you have other, what you call, I think, levels of intervention in trying to assist these children? Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yes, we do. First, the level 1 is considered the adoption, where we do go to the child's home or to a park, and we adopt the child into our family. We give them road names. We give them a vest with their road name on it. We give them a bucket blanket. We have another organization called Binky Patrol that donates their time and their blankets, and each road name is on the child's blanket. And then if it has to, if it goes to a level 2, that's where we're called in that the child has been threatened. And if we go to a level 2, then usually 7 to 8 of us will go over and set up security around the house so the child can feel comfortable and go to sleep or whatever it may have to do. And we do that 24/7 until it's clear that the child's not in fear anymore.
And is that kind of your area of work here in the organization?
That's one of my areas that I have to do. I do security for our adoptions, do security for the level 2s. I have to set them up. And the president of the chapter and then the national president, they're the ones that make the decision whether it goes to a level 2 or further.
Okay.
And then I just control what happens after that once it goes to that level. And the level 3 is just more of a presence that we set up there. And that's usually, they send out a letter to the neighborhood with our letterhead on it saying that there is an alleged perpetrator in the area. Try to get the awareness out more. We never give the person's name, exact location where they're at. We just do it in the area. And just to get it out and let the community know that there's a problem.
So that's a public awareness.
Yes,
function.
that's exactly right. And it's the same with the level 4. It's more of a public awareness. And it's, we'll hand out stickers or tattoos to any of the children in the neighborhood. We'll give them those tattoos and stuff like that to let them know what we're doing.
I bet when you come in with any presents on your bikes, you get attention.
Yes, we do, and we always have our flyers in hand and hand out to anybody that comes by. Because if we're parked alongside the street, we do security to make sure nobody runs into the bikes and no kids are running out into traffic. So we watch the traffic coming down the road. And when we slow them down, we always hand them a flyer about what we're about. And that's
How do people get a hold of you if they had a need?
We have a state hotline.
Okay. So there's I'll give that website information at the
Yes.
end of the show. That'd be helpful. But people basically can call a hotline, or they can go on the internet and
They can go on the
send
internet.
email.
They can send emails on the internet. All the chapters' main officers' emails are on the internet. But the quickest and easiest way is the hotlines, which are also listed on the internet. There's a state hotline, there's a national hotline, and each chapter has a hotline.
Tell me about the national organization that kind of keeps you guys together. How does that work?
Well, it's just like any organization, especially any 501c3 not-for-profit organization, where we have a board of directors that are elected by the general membership once a year, and everything is done via business meeting, forum type. We set all our policies by all our very democratic. Our representatives come from each state, go to the national meeting. Motions are made for policy changes, how we want to handle things.
And how long has the national organization been intact?
It's been a little over 10 years.
Huh.
Started in Utah. A guy named J.P. Lilly, we call him Chief, was a child psychologist in Salt Lake City, and he also wrote. And he worked a lot with abused children, and he was always trying to find a way to help them get past their fear. He made the comment that every time he would spend 3-4 hours in session with a kid, he would get them where he thought he made some progress. They would go back home, and it was like he'd done nothing. He got the idea one day to, with permission of the child's parents, to take this child to meet some of the guys he rode with. Those guys told this kid, you're one of us now, you're part of our family. Just gave him a vest, gave him, you know, all the stuff that we do now on our adoptions, they did at this little impromptu meeting. About a week later, the child's mother called him and said, I don't know what you did, but he's sleeping through the night, you know, he's doing better in school, he's ready to testify. And Chief figured that it had to be, the only thing he could come up with was, you know, the fear was gone because of this new family that the child had.
And it appears that DHS is okay with this arrangement. You've received no negative feedback from their organization?
Normally, we don't get any negative feedback from them. We work with them in ways. I mean, we don't work directly with DHS all the time.
You're not part of their system.
No, we're not part of their system at all.
You're just trying to help from the outside with the
Exactly.
parents
We're
or
helping just to
foster
get
parents
the
involved.
part of the fear out of the children.
Sure.
That's our main goal, is so the kids can sleep at night and not live in fear that if they walk down the street that they're going to be attacked or something again. That's just to draw the fear away from them. We do whatever it takes to make them feel comfortable.
I know that you guys were involved in a recent event called the Healing Field, I think it is, where flags are put up out at south of the Capitol to memorialize the children who, I guess, have died pursuant to child abuse. I heard some marvelous things by Charlie Swinton and others about what a fine impact you had on that event. Can you describe that a little bit for our viewers?
Yeah, that's something that we've done 2 years now with Charlie as a way to support the Exchange Club and the Stop Child Abuse Oklahoma. It's kind of out of our purview of what we do, but on the other hand, like you said, it was had flags up outside the Capitol to represent the deaths caused by child abuse. This year, from last year to this year, we were up to across the country 1,530 something. In the state of Oklahoma, luckily we were down from 45 to 37, I think are the numbers, which is a good thing, but it's still 37 too many.
Yeah.
The way we look at it is it's an awareness deal to try to get awareness about child abuse and try to reduce that number of flags, because the less flags are out there, then the less need there is for us. And as much as we enjoy being there for these kids and the interaction we have with these kids and these families, we would all love nothing better than to be able to take these patches off our backs and just ride for fun.
Mm-hmm.
We would love to see that field empty, and that's why we support that, is to try to help get that awareness out there and stem this epidemic a little bit.
Major upcoming events that you guys are involved with? Anything on the schedule?
Well, we have our annual fundraiser, which is in the form of a poker run, coming up on the 16th of May. Mm-hmm. It'll be at Thunder Roadhouse Cafe. We will be doing a poker run, bike show, and a few other things. Being a charitable organization, we exist solely off of donations,
Right.
So we have to do things like this.
And you're open to new membership?
Open to new membership all the time. They can.
Does a prospective new member, can they find out what to do to join by getting on your website?
Yes, sir.
Is that the best way to do it?
Get on the website, email myself or our president, and we will get back with them on how to get there. Basically, all they have to do to start the process is show up at a meeting.
Okay.
Well, I can't tell you how impressed I am with the sincerity of what you guys are doing, and I know you're being helpful in your own way. Thanks very much for coming on The Verdict and sharing, and hopefully we can expand the membership and let you guys become an even larger part of this horrible situation that we're all facing.
Well, thanks a lot for having us on here.
Well, you're
I
welcome
really
back
appreciate it.
anytime. Welcome back.
Kent and I'll have a final word right after this.
All children deserve a life of hope and love, but sometimes they experience a life of pain, neglect, and abuse.
When that happens, each child deserves all the quality assistance and representation that can be offered in our legal system. For more information, call 23-CHILD.
Oklahoma Lawyers for Children, helping to bring hope and love back to the lives of abused children.
The good life comes naturally to Tulsa, where nature's beauty is matched with an eye for aesthetics. A legacy of neighborhoods graced with lawns and landscaping and handsome homes. A place that seems to have patented an ideal lifestyle. Bank First is loyal to the quality of life Tulsa assures its citizens, to the priority placed on education, culture, and growth. Loyal to builders who transform raw land into residential charm. Developers who see opportunity and add vitality to Tulsa's economy. Bank First serves both enterprise and private lives that need a loyal partner. It's how we help nurture this city's very good life. Bank First. Loyal to Oklahoma. Loyal to you.
The Journal-Record is pleased to be a sponsor of The Verdict. The Journal-Record, since 1903, the best source of Oklahoma business news and legal information.
Welcome back to The Verdict. Mick Cornett and Kent Myers wrapping up a show entitled Bikers Against Child Abuse. Two very interesting guys.
Indeed. They're intriguing in what they do and how they do it, and they make a very fine, positive impact on the lives of the children that they are engaged in. Somewhere between 70 and 80 children at any one time are involved in their program with, of course, all the others that are involved in the child abuse welfare area.
Let me give the hotline number that people can call. The state hotline number is 1-877-422-2286. That's 877-422-2286. And their website is bacausa.com. That's BACAUSA.com. Let me also tell you about our website, theverdict.tv. You can go to that website and tell us about a show you'd like to see right here on The Verdict. For Kent Myers, I'm Mick Cornett. We'll see you next week on The Verdict.
The preceding program was produced exclusively for the Cox Channel.